Sweden. She's been my home for as long as I can remember. She brought me joys, she brought me tears. And now I'm moving to explore a new angle of life, to experience new things, to one of the islands in Denmark with my family. A new life is about to start. I'm an artist who paints, writes and photographs. Come with me on the journey and watch as my new life unfolds and all what it has to offer. Let the adventure begin. It's before dawn and it's pitch black outside. You can start to see the contours of the surroundings. I know this area very well. It's been my backyard for over 4 years now, and it's stunningly beautiful in all of its green. It's brought me a lot of joy and inspiration, and I love it. Now in the waking hour, it's time to say goodbye and start our new journey. All the familiar surroundings are still embedded in the comfort of the lingering night. As the day is beginning, my little one is waking up in the car, and the landscape that I know and love so much is slowly starting to be replaced by the more characteristic open fields that you can see in most of the southern parts of Sweden and the coastline. We are beginning to get closer to Malmoe and the bridge to Copenhagen. But if you thought that Malmoe was only a flat and open landscape, you thought wrong. There are lots of trees here. We are now coming up the bridge and I can feel the excitement increasing. Up until this moment, it could all have been a road trip, but it's not. We are saying goodbye to Sweden for an unknown time, but somehow I'm not feeling my usual nostalgic me. I'm feeling curious about what's to come and the adventure that lies ahead. The bridge between Sweden and Denmark is the largest bridge in the Nordic region. The view is spectacular. It took several years to build this bridge, and not without complications, I might add. It's quite extraordinary to be able to travel above water like this for such a long way. Suddenly, I get a look at the sky and all the fluffy clouds that are floating by there above. As we're passing the line between Sweden and Denmark, we can see an island that the Danes built with a helicopter platform on it. Instead of building a whole bridge, the Danish people took a risk and decided to build a tunnel, the last part, or the first part, depending on which way you're going, I suppose. See you on the other side. Funny thing is, when you're driving through this tunnel, your GPS will show you that you are driving beneath sea level. The whole trip through this tunnel doesn't take very long, just a couple minutes. And we say hello to Denmark, Copenhagen. You might think, as I've been told, that Denmark is merely an open landscape with almost no trees at all. But driving through the landscape and some of the smaller towns, I can clearly see that that particular statement isn't very accurate at all. There are lots of trees and forests here. As we're driving, I can see a beautiful little church in a more simple style that I find very charming. Although 5 exactly alike churches later, they kind of lost their charm. And we are driving through more bridges. Denmark has a lot of windmills, and lots of the energy does come from renewable sources like this. While we're driving through the Danish landscape and towns, it does feel very familiar, but still it's a bit different. It does remind me some of the southern parts of Sweden. And here's Svendborg coming up, and we are looking for the ferry across to Öresundsbron. It's kind of nerve-wracking because you have to book quite a while in advance to get a ticket, and if you miss your spot, well, then you might have to wait for up to a week to get across, especially if you have a big load like we do. But here down at the docks, we see a lot of smaller sailing boats, and it has a very cozy feeling to the place. Well, we made it onto the ferry with just a couple of minutes left to spare, and now we have 1.5 hours boat ride waiting for us. On the ferry, we now get to familiarize ourselves with the Danish language that we'll hopefully soon learn to speak. To me, it's always sounded like a very happy language, where the words are a bit more mixed up than the Swedish language, which doesn't have that many diphthongs. If you are not from Skåne, that is, because we do have all of those diphthongs. So I guess I have a bit of an advantage. There is a lot of sailboats passing by, and we can see that many of them are from Germany. And here you can finally see the coastline of the island Ärö, and there's the town Öresundsbron. Öresundsbron is quite an old town, and I just adored all the lovely houses here. They are so beautiful. We have arrived at our destination, Malmoe. And as I get out of the car, I realize that the adventure is only yet beginning. Come back.